All right, here we are on day 25. And once again, you're stuck with me. I am still your host. But I have some great news. Today's our last day with multiplication, and we're going to move on to division. So this is our last experience with multiplication. We'll never, ever see multiplication again. No, of course we're going to see multiplication again. Multiplication is a great way to check your division answers that you receive. Okay? So let's go over yesterday's exit ticket, looking at either one of these two strategies. Okay, the first strategy is going to have you taking this 2 in the ones place, timesing it by 3,245, and you'll receive 6,490. Then you'll take this 2 in the tens place, times it by 3,245, and get 64,900. Remember, when you are using the tens place to multiply the top number, that becomes 0 now. And you hold the 0 right there, that place value. Then we're going to times the 8 in the hundreds place, which means make that 2 in the tens place a 0. So 8 times 3,245 will give you 2,596,000. And remembering that if there's 2 place values here, there has to be 2 place values down here that you put the zeros in. Okay? Once you add them all up, you'll get 2,667,390. So how this matches up with the second strategy, all right? 6,490, you'll see 6,490 over here when you times the ones place, which was the 2 in the ones place. 64,900, you got the same response over here, same solution over here when you times the 2 in the tens place. And then 2,596,000 you received when you times the 8 in the hundreds place by 3,245, which ultimately got you the same answer of 2,667,390. All right. So as I said, we're going to focus on today some division, and I hope that wasn't sounds I heard through this computer. I hope you're excited. I hope you're pumped. We're ready to rock and roll with this division. Okay? And remember, this is just a review, so you are very familiar with all of this. All right, so let's talk about what each number means. So first off, it's a 4-digit dividends divided by 1-digit divisor. So here's your divisor. Here's your dividend. Okay, it's the number you're dividing. Okay, divisor is what you're dividing by, and the quotient is what you're getting as your solution. All right? Now, with that being said, there may or may not be a remainder. All right? But what I tell you right now is we're not going to look for a decimal answer. We're just going to stop if we get a remainder. All right? So here we go. Also, a great idea to do here would be to write your 7 times tables. If you're not fluent in your 7 times tables, it's a really smart idea to write them all down so you don't have to try to think, well, 7 times 4, was that 21? Was that 35? Oh, man. If you have them all right here, then you will be ready to rock and roll. So, now that I have all my facts written down, I'm ready to roll. 7 goes into 1. Well, obviously 7 doesn't go into 1, but it does go into 14. It goes in 2 times. First mistake we don't want to make is put the 2 above the 1. We want the 2 to go above the 14, or in this case the 4 specifically. 2 times 7 equals 14. Remember to divide the 7 into the 14. Then you multiply this digit times the divisor to get your 14. Then you subtract and get 0. Remember the trick here. Divide, multiply, subtract. Now we're going to bring down that 2. Well, wait a second. 7 can't go into 2. You're right. So if it can't go into 2, it means it doesn't go into 2. It goes in 0 times. So 0 times 7 gives you a 2, and gives you a 0, sorry. You subtract, and now you get 2. Now I'm going to bring down my 6. How many times will 7 go into 26? Well, it's pretty close to 28, but I can't go to 28. I have to stay under 28. Okay? I get 21. So, it took me 3 times to get there. 3 times 7 gave me 21, with 5 as my remainder. So here I would write remainder, or R, 5. So 203, remainder 5. Great way to check your answer would to take 203 times 7, get that answer. When you get that answer, you're going to get 1,421. And then add the 5, your remainder, to get the additional 5 more of 1,426. All right, so let's go ahead and have you do a few. All right, so number 2 that you're going to do is 3,746 divided by 3. Go ahead, hit that pause button, and give it a shot. Okay, so the answer that you should have received, and it's okay if you didn't, because you hopefully will identify your mistake if you didn't receive this, but it's 1,248 remainder 2. So 3 went into 3 one time. 1 times 3 equals 3. 3 went into 7 because I brought down the 7. And it goes in 2 times. 2 times 3 gave me 6. Subtract, you get 1. Bring down my 4. Now I have 14. 3 goes into 14. 4 times 3 gives you 12. I subtract, I get 2. Bring down my 6. 3 goes into 26. 8 times. 8 times 3 gives you 24. You subtract and you get 2 as your remainder. Now, I also checked myself here. I took the 1,248, times it by my divisor of 3. When I did that, I didn't get exactly this number over here yet. I didn't get 3,746 yet. I got 3,744. But now I add my remainder, and I'll get 3,746, which was the dividend I started off with. So that's how I also am confident that this answer of 1,248, remainder 2, is correct. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is going to be 8,503 divided by 5. Go ahead and solve that, and I highly recommend checking it before you hit play button again. So go ahead, hit the pause button now. So you should have gotten the answer of 1,700 remainder of 3. And how I did that was 5 went into 8 one time. I take the 1 times it by 5, I get 5. I subtract, I get 3. I bring down this 5, I get 35. 5 goes into 35 7 times. Now this is where I think some mistakes might have occurred if you made a mistake. So I get 0. I bring down this 0 in the tens place. Can 5 go into 0? No, therefore it goes in 0 times. So I put a 0 there. 0 times 5 gives me this 0. As silly as it sounds, 0 minus 0, yes, gives you 0. I bring down my ones place, the 3. Can 5 go into 3? Nope. So it goes in 0 times. A lot of zeros here. 0 times 5 will give you 0. You subtract, you get 3. Now that's your remainder. When I checked it, I took 1,700 times 5 and received 8,500. Then I added my remainder of 3, because that's the remainder, and I got 8,503, which was my original dividend. All right, I hope we're picking up on, I hope if we're making mistakes, we're seeing where they're happening. Okay, this is our last one. And since this was our last one before the exit ticket, I had to make it a challenge. The 9 times tables. All right, your divisor is 9. So take 6,292 and divide it by 9. Go ahead and do that now. Okay, so your answer you should have gotten as your quotient would have been 699 remainder 1. Now I want to show you something. If accidentally, let's say, I'm going to erase some of this. Well, first off, I want to see, do you see a mistake you made here? Did you get 54? Did you bring down and get an 8? Did you bring down your 9? Get 89? Did you do 9 goes in 89 and get 9 times to get 81? Subtract, you get 8. Bring down your 2, you get 82. 9 goes in 82 9 times, which gives you 81. You subtract, get your remainder of 1. Now, I want to go back a little bit. Let's just say you thought it goes in 5 times, and you get 45 here. Okay? When you subtract, you get 17. You can't get a number here that's bigger than the divisor. It has to be smaller than the divisor. So that means I didn't put 9 into 62 as many times as I could put it into. Okay, it could go in 1 extra time, which would get me 54. And you're subtracting and you get 8. So keep that in mind. Maybe that's a mistake you're making. Maybe you're not putting your divisor into your dividend as many times as it could go in. Okay, but also you can't go over either. So let's say I thought it goes in 7 times and it gets 63. I can't take 63 away from 62. So I can't go over either, which is also why 6 is the answer, or 600, and you get 54. Okay? And don't forget to be checking your answers. I think you'll find mistakes happening, because if you got 5 here, then you're not going to get 6,292. If you put 599 as your answer with the remainder of 1, you would have gotten 45, 53, 40, 53, whoops, wrong placement. So 9. Everything else is good. Boom, boom, boom. 53. 5,392 is what you would have gotten as your dividend, which is not what you started off with. So that right there, by checking it, helps you to see, oh, my solution, my quotient, is not correct. All right, so with that being said, go ahead and do day 25's exit ticket. We'll see you tomorrow.